To call the museum committee to order, and I'll remind anyone, if you have a pecuniary interest, you can declare it now or further down the agenda. And we have one action item and 5 information items, and we'll start with the feasibility study.
Okay, so Council will recall at the last meeting you had a presentation from Museum Planning Partners for the feasibility study, and as part of the recommendations in the feasibility study there was a further recommendation to do a financial feasibility study. So in particular that was to test assumptions from the feasibility study in regards to the fundraising, in particular the fundraising component. So again, the feasibility study has named 2 kind of areas or scenarios, 2 new build scenarios. One being the new archives building with a proposed programming and community space in there, as well as an off-site building as well. And we know through the plans that we've undertaken in the community consultation that there is a need in regards to additional space. And we also know that our temporary off-site storage space here locally in Walkerton is a stopgap for us. So I think it is essential that we move to the next level in regards to test the assumptions in the feasibility study on 2 levels. One for any sort of new build, but also in our development, in our actual strategic plan, we did talk about developing the resources required for fundraising. And fundraising is a component of our overall revenue picture when it comes to the museum, as is our admissions and our donations and our sponsorships. And it's one that we have not spent a great deal of time on, but we need to start looking at that piece, especially when it comes to things like estate planning, planned giving, long-term type of donation. So I see the financial feasibility study as getting us closer to, really starting to put some structure around fundraising, in particular for the museum moving forward.
Thank you, Kathy. You've seen the recommendation. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Mike and Anne, any discussion on this? Any questions? Anything? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you, that's carried.
Okay.
All right, your action items.
Thank you.
Your information, sorry.
Yeah. Good. So the business sponsorship report, we've been able to secure Giant Tiger as a sponsor moving forward for programming, and we still have another ask out for our foreign agricultural resource management services for our Field of Dreams exhibit, which is focusing on our migrant worker community. So we're waiting. We have a few other applications for that particular exhibition that we're waiting on hearing back from at this point, but we are proceeding forward with any sort of applications that we need to get in process. In regards to our collections update, 2 really big projects that have been going on behind the scenes. And collections work is something that you don't necessarily see in the forefront all the time, but our team of 1 and kind of a half person in that area have been doing some tremendous work. So as an example, there are 84 objects that are going to be coming out of the collections area and incorporated into the new structure of the Last Frontier, which is our 150th homage, which is a barn structure that our exhibit designer is creating. So these objects in particular will be on display, but most importantly as well, they will also be on display in a digital capacity for people to learn more in-depth information about as well. The other project that has been happening, has taken place is, again, it goes back to our strategic plan and our optimization of use of space. So within the collection storage itself, it's really important that we continue to look at how we house things and how we store things. So we did an application last year to the Museum Assistance Program, and we were able to get funding for this project, in particular for some shelving and a military cabinet case. So we've been able to rehouse, and I believe there is a picture there of some medals, as well as both military objects and woodworking objects. So this is, again, this is all good museum standard practice. It absolutely addresses to some degree the optimization of use of space, but more importantly, it makes things a lot more accessible for us to be able to draw upon when we're looking at our research, and it makes the life of the artifacts that much more longer in terms of how they're being stored properly. Not that they weren't being stored properly before, because they were. This is just a better way of housing some of these objects. So those are two fairly large projects that department has taken over in the last little while. The next item that we have is our education report, and our new education coordinator, who just started with us in January, has really kind of dove head in, and all of these projects have been new from her, but she's been doing an absolutely wonderful job. We just finished our 6th annual local heritage fair, so while lots of the schools are doing public speaking, we are still encouraging schools to do heritage fair, and in particular, we've been really hosting GC Houston's heritage fair for the last 6 years. Proud to say that I believe Northport's come on board with doing heritage fair, so the word's getting out, and we're starting to branch out to more local schools in the area. We had a number of students, I believe there were 6 that are going on to the Grey Roots Regional Fair, which will be in April, and a variety of projects, so some really good content coming out, and you'll see anywhere from kind of cultural powwow dancing, some very timely topics like residential school. Again, Lights Along the Way, Bruce County Lighthouses, Winnie the Pooh, and Lucy Maud Montgomery, which is also timely with the new show coming out too. We did engage with our library partners, and you can see there is a picture of Kathy Sampson doing some adjudication work during the process, and some other individuals who helped volunteer for that project. Just coming out of our March break program, the March break camp was full, which was great. So we had lots of young campers with us, which is pretty indicative of what's happening in the area as well, with lots of young families. So we're seeing that both the March break camp programs and our summer programs are starting to fill, as well as some of the other workshops that our education coordinator has been working on. So there's some of them having fun with cardboard boats as well. And then the last item is in regards to, or second last item, sorry, is our marketing report. So in regards to marketing, again, on the outreach side, we've been busy at the local leisure fair, again, promoting membership and getting the word out about the museum and about the various programs. And then again, we're starting more into our visitor feedback comments. And what we're seeing is that, with our increase in our membership, that we are seeing that there people are really interested in what the museum has to offer on all levels across the board in regards to programming. So lots of great comments and feedback about the programs as well. And then last on the item is in regards to our programming report. So again, our Reminiscence program has wrapped up for the season. We're happy to say that we did receive funding through Seniors for New Horizons, and we will be working with the same group that did this program in regards to a new project that deals with elder abuse. So it's a very difficult topic, but I think the group does an excellent job at bringing awareness to the topic, and we'll be working with them locally over the next few months to develop this series. It is a play, and we'll be looking for local people to be seniors in that play as well. So that you can stay tuned for that. More information about that will be forthcoming. Wrapping up our Lunch and a Movie, our Adventure Talk series, which is the Canadians helping around the world. We have 2 more sessions of that left in particular for the season, and then we will be starting on with our other programming. And again, March Family Fun Days. So these were days that were structured and activities that were structured for people who didn't want to just come, they weren't just dropping their kids off at the camp, they were coming and they were utilizing the museum and the facility as part of their staycation, if you will, during March break. So there's someone there doing, I'm not sure if that was the electronics portion, I think. Yeah, the robotic construction there. And then we had, of course, some improv as well. And that is the end of the museum report.
Thanks, Kathy. There's always something going on at the museum.
There is.
Does anybody have any questions on any of the reports? No? Anybody? No? I have my question, the March break, you said that it was a full house. Mm-hmm. How many is that?
We take 30.
Oh, that's great.
30 kids each
Oh,
day.
that's great. Okay.
We, at one point, we were oversubscribed, so we did have to bring in an additional person for one day, and there was just some confusion with someone who had registered, and we didn't have their registration, but we made it work for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
Anybody else? No? Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn? Anne and Mike, all in favor? Thank you. We'll meet again May the 4th.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Kathy.
Yep.